What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA Wise stream. It is Tuesday, December 17th, 2019. CK013 here. As usual, you can find me on Twitter at CK_013, joined by the GOAT, the true OG of the WiseTake Nation. That man is Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. Paulie, say what up to the YouTube and WiseTake Nation.
What up, nation?
That's how it is.
What you doing?
You know, living that DFS life. Yesterday was interesting, right? We were on the show and the software that you and I use, which both of us use Fantasy Cruncher to make the teams, crashed right at lock. So that was an experience. Had to make a decision. Ended up going like my 4 favorite Detroit guys and just ended up 100% of them. I had an okay night. You were real close to taking something down despite the circumstances. But yeah, it made the show a little weird, right? It was like waiting for news, looking at one screen, hoping for this thing to load back up. On DraftKings on another screen, trying to change shit as much as you can, trying to figure out what to do. That was an experience. That was wild.
Yeah, it's like, what do we do? And like ultimately, with such a pivotal game, being that first one, you really had to make a decision what you're going to do there, because whatever you left, you were going to get 100% of, or
or like
I ended up
get any, that was your last chance to get them. Also,
right. So you were either 100% fading it or playing him 100%, whichever guy. Yeah, and like I started manually changing lineups, fading that game, one at a time, boom, 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 with my dummy lineup having 4 guys from that lineup. I ended up getting like 30 of 100 switched manually. So I had 70% of 4 guys from that Detroit game, which ended up working out. But if it was the opposite, it would have sucked. I just, that was such a good spot against the perfect opponent. I was like, how can this go wrong? But you really have to make a quick decision. AD ruled out.
Boom. AD ruled out. That was pretty crucial. Which reminds me real quick, if you're new to this show currently, if you're just joining us, please, everybody, subscribe to the channel. The purpose of this show, we do it Monday through Fridays on this channel, is to keep everybody updated with the news. Also tell our members how to react to the news as well. And, just straight from the source. We have a ton of content. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is a free show. We have a ton of content at WiseTake.com. Paulie D's cheat sheets for DraftKings is up. Cam's is handling FanDuel. My core plays article is up telling who our most exposed players are. You could check it out there. But in terms of watching this channel, all we ask is you hit subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you're notified when we do go live. And also hit the like button. Likes go a long way, help us out a lot. So if you guys could pound that like button, we really appreciate it. Everybody who's watching right now, just hit that like button. Do dirties. Drop it dirty on them. Drop it dirty on them and hit that like button. With that said, Paulie, so the LeBron thing, that just happened. So Anthony Davis, who I was just adjusting his projection, I'm now going to have to adjust, which, by the way, the projections that I use are the WiseTake projections. I make them myself. Go check them out if you have access. Day passes, all that stuff, get you access. If you want to download them, you can download them from the site, upload them to the optimizer of your choice, whichever you use, and you can get a little WiseTake Nation flavor on your plays. With that said, Paulie, let's start off. Let's talk about the AD situation, because that's pretty big. I think like the studs weren't really separating a ton, and this kind of makes it so, right?
Studs and value. Because now we got Kuzma and Dwight Howard, going to get big minutes. Rajon Rondo's 4-7, going to see increased. I mean, AD's a huge chunk of usage to lose. Kyle Kuzma was already out, so you're going to get LeBron, Rondo, Howard, Green, JaVale, and Avery Bradley. They're very, very thin. Maybe Alex Caruso gets some minutes. They don't really have any other bigs. I don't think anyone's caring about Jared Dudley.
I think not. I for damn sure I'm not. I'm with you, man. That was definitely the biggest news that we've got dropped. We had some news dropped already. That was the biggest one so far, the slate. So just in time to change our perplexion. And that's what this show is all about. By now, we would be finished with our show, or pretty much at the end, and having to adjust. But at this point, we're able to adjust with everybody as we do the breakdown and afterwards. So for now, we'll do a breakdown. Those of you who are new, afterwards, we pull up our WiseTake injury feed, which is a part of our Slack chat, which is for WiseTake monthly members or higher. With that said, Paulie, let's go to point guards. We'll do the 6K above and below thing. We'll just do that. So dirty him up, drop dirties on him, point guard.
Well, I mean, I like LeBron anyway. Like him even more now. They're just going to get massive usage against a good defender, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to LeBron with that much usage. I like Trae Young against the Knicks. I mean, the more minutes Elf plays, the better that will be for the opposing point guard. Devontae Graham, I've got quite a bit of interest in against Sacramento. Jrue Holiday, that's the premier game of the night against Brooklyn. Ricky Rubio's price went down, even though he played very well yesterday. And another game without Booker, no Cam Johnson. Scoring center returning DeAndre Ayton for him to get more assists through. Love the price on Spencer Dinwiddie. He should be very popular. Again, that's just going to be a really popular game. I like it. I like guys from it. Malcolm Brogdon I like a lot now. That Pacers game is definitely more stackable in my opinion. Like the Lakers are a very good defensive team. You take AD out and that probably makes them very mediocre defensively. Terry Rozier is too cheap. Probably him or Graham don't really want to play them together. Rozier's got more upside on his price. Graham's just been doing it more. And that's it. Down to 6.
Down to that dirty 6. I will state this, by the way, Paulie. Kyle Kuzma's already out. He wasn't going to play today anyway. Mm-hmm. So, agreed. Lakers have just become very thin. Just touching on that. With that said, going over to the point guards. Ricky Rubio, certainly, I think, is a guy we have to analyze. That's a big question today is what games you want to attack. We got a few good games. One of them is a late-night hammer. No Devin Booker. Rubio's been smashing without Devin Booker, and he's getting Ayton back in a nut spot, which helps for a guy like Rubio who's relying on assists, things like that. So I do have my eye on him. It's just a matter of how heavy I want to go on that game. I'm hoping we get the Lou Will, Pat Bev news because I just want to know what the chances are. Any edge I can get that the Suns will keep this close, and I'm willing to raise it. But at minimum, I'll have around 20-ish or so. You mentioned Devontae Graham. His prices come down. Nobody's really looking at that game. I'm definitely interested. And I think as far as and of course Trae Young. Can't forget about Trae Young. I'll talk about some of these other guys at shooting guard, but yeah. Oh no, you know what? I skip probably the one I'm gonna have one of the highest exposures of actually. Malcolm Brogdon. I was gonna already play a lot of Brogdon and Sabonis. More so Brogdon I think is a little bit cheaper, and this just kind of solidifies that because I think it's gonna get more minutes for Rondo on the court as well. And Brogdon is just going to drop dirty burgers all over Rondo. So Brogdon is actually my favorite above it. In this range, like I like Rubio. I like these guys. Brogdon's probably my favorite, followed by Rubio. And then after that, I think the other guys I like are under there. I'll talk about LeBron. I'll talk about LeBron at small forward or whatever. Underneath. I fucked that up.
Yeah. These like 5 guys, right? Elf, Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Rajon Rondo, and RJ Barrett from 4.5 to 5.2. All have very big GPP upside. Elf, the more minutes he gets, he's been playing awesome. Maybe he finally gets thrust into the starting lineup. He's been closing games, triple-double upside. The Knicks have been playing much better. Atlanta's like the optimal opponent. He'll get steals. He'll get blocks. They play fast. Markelle Fultz is kind of sneaky. Utah's been very bad against the point guard the last few weeks. Maybe that starts to change as they get Mike Conley back, but this is going to be his first game back if he plays, and I don't think he's going to be 100%. And I really like what Markelle Fultz has been doing. And as Vooch comes back, that's another guy for him to get assists through and kind of boost his stats. Lonzo Ball is projecting on some sites to start today. The Brooklyn Nets would be a great spot for him to kind of like burst back onto the DFS scene, post a big game. Rajon Rondo at 4.7, I'm always interested, especially with no AD and a huge usage boost. And then RJ Barrett coming off like the worst game of his career is 4,500. Same reasons we like Elf Payton and the rest. Like it's just a perfect matchup and really good get right spot for him. So those 5 guys right there are like some of my favorite plays on the slate. I'll have a good amount of exposure to all 5. You got TJ McConnell for really cheap, Malik Monk for really cheap that I could get behind as Charlotte's a little bit shorthanded. That's really all I'm looking at.
Yeah, you mentioned Lonzo Ball is projected to be pretty popular, more so on DraftKings, I believe. I'm cool with him at 5K. It's hard to argue. It's a really good price. I'm seeing places project him to start, so I'm fine with it. I do have a little bit like for the tournament purposes. I like Elf. I think you like Elf too, Paul. He's been playing really well. He hasn't played 30 minutes. If he happens to get it, if the game calls for it, I expect this Atlanta New York game to be competitive, being that the Knicks are at home. And it's a really good situation for him, so it's more of a chance. I wouldn't expect anybody to take a huge stance on Elf over some of these other guys, but I do like Elf as like a GPP pivot kind of off of Alonzo Ball. But I'll have some Lonzo Ball. I'm not trying to chase anybody away. Rajon Rondo just went way up my list, right? That was a guy I was capping. He was projecting well already, but I was capping him because I didn't like the matchup, yada, yada, yada. Now it's a situation where it doesn't, they're just going to be thinner in general. They may have to the top part of the rotation may have to be a little thinner. We may see LeBron have to, he's going to play point and he's going to have to play the 3 now, maybe even some 4 in this scenario. So I'm with you, man. The Lakers are thin. We like thin teams. That's how we do it. I think that's about it as far as anybody I'll have substantial ownership to in that range. Take us over to shooting guards.
Yeah, so on the high end, you got Kawhi Leonard. Especially if Lou Williams is still out, I can get behind that. Definitely like more interested in playing Kawhi in game stacks, but if they blow them out, he could have a big game. But one of the studs will have lower exposure to. Then you got Drew Holiday, Donnie Mitchell. Like the price tags on both those guys, like their games. Drew, I'll probably have close to 30%. Donnie Mitchell, closer to like 15 or 20. Not much in the mid-tier. I already talked about how much I like Markelle Fultz. And then Bogdanovich, it's not that great with Fox coming back, getting some minutes, probably going to play together. But I do like the usage. He's kind of like, I think he's tired of not starting for these guys. I think he deserves a starting role. And every time he plays, he's just going to try to prove that. It's really all I got, though. There's not much at shooting guard for me.
Yeah, I actually think like the upper part of this too. Now you talked about a lot of these guys at point guard, but the upper part of this, like Drew Holiday, Spencer Dinwiddie, those 2 guys alone are going to garner a lot of ownership, and rightfully so. It's a really good spot for both. I'll probably have them both around 20 to 30%. This Lakers is like I have to adjust still, so I'm like tweaking the projections for the WiseTake Nation and trying to update my core article as we go through this. But I definitely, don't want to rule out the fact that like. These are the guys I'm kind of making sure I have. Some of those other plays that I had are like falling off, obviously, because I have to make room for the Rondos, and on DraftKings everything's somewhat related. But really, those 2 guys are the main ones. We talked about Devontae Graham, who's also in this category on DraftKings. I think he's point guard only, but I'm not sure what he is on FanDuel. Either way, those are the main 2 above here. We talked about Brogdon. Kawhi Leonard, a good point, shooting guard eligible over here. I'll have around 20% or so. But I'm ready to raise that, like you said. I'm ready to raise it if Lou Will, Pat Bev, if these guys are out, I'll be ready to raise it on both him and Paul George. With that said, Paulie, take us under 6K.
Yeah, again, not a ton at this position. Already touched on the most at point guard, but Josh Hart, have interest in him. Cheap price, great game atmosphere. Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter, Atlanta guys against the Knicks. What's not to like there? They're all really, really cheap. Just a matter of figuring out which one's going to get the minutes. But that's, I guess you want to throw, what's his name from the Lakers in there now too. I guess I could touch on him in small forward. The guy from the Raptors, Danny Green.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Josh Hart is a guy that I got my eye on. I think it's a good situation with Favors coming back. The minutes, the rebounding, all that stuff is kind of up in the air. But it's Brooklyn. It's a good game to get exposure to. Hart's price is decent. He's been playing well. And what I like about Hart is he's a 3-and-D guy, but he's going to grab some boards, and I like that in a situation where he's going to be facing a bad rebounding team. Mikal Bridges, though, probably one of my favorite plays also on the slate in terms of value. Just going to see a lot of minutes. Again, I would help to know Lou Will and those guys are out, but they're thin, man. It's not just Cam Johnson's out. Like they're missing bodies, the Suns. So I think a guy like Bridges, a young guy like him that could use the minutes always when Booker's out, I think he's in for a lot of minutes regardless. How efficient he is with those minutes, I think that may depend on what kind of, on the matchup we see directly, depending on who's in or out for those guys. So those are the main two guys that stand out to me. Hart and Bridges under this range. You could certainly take a shot on Kevin Huerter, who's supposed to not have a minutes limit today. He was chalked the other night, probably going to go somewhat lower owned today with everybody else playing these other guys. And of course, I think one of the more obvious top plays on the slate, of course, RJ Barrett. So on DraftKings, I'll have a lot of him. He's 4,500 against Atlanta. I went for 30-something earlier this year. He's playing 30-something minutes. He had 2 games where he was like super. He had 2 games where he was like super inefficient, obviously. But other than that, I mean, he just went for 40 a couple days ago, so I'll have a substantial amount of RJ Barrett. He's going to be somebody I have a whole ton of, and he's going to be probably the most popular player on the slate. He already was. Maybe now maybe LeBron is, some of the Lakers, but yeah, the benefit on FanDuel, you don't get the price benefit, but you do get an ownership benefit there. So I'll say that. You don't get the price, you do get the ownership. It'll be a lot lower on FanDuel. Paulie, move us over to small forwards.
SFs, baby. At the top, both these guys, they seem to be on the same slate like every couple days. Brandon Ingram and Paul George. Like them both. I think I favor Ingram by a tad, but I'll probably have like 30% of Ingram, 20% of George. Buddy Hield, like a 5% dart. Kelly Oubre, I do like today at 6'7". I think even if Clippers blow them out, he'll kind of get his. Marcus Morris at 6'2" against Atlanta. Not, awesome in terms of where he's priced, but, he's shown us 50-point ceilings this year, and it's a great opponent for him to get a good game. I think the game stays close. I do like Bojan Bogdanovic from Utah today. Regardless if they get Conley back, I just think it's a good spot for him to kind of get hot from outside at home versus Orlando, a little slower team. With Booker out, I do like Dario Saric. Not really a big, but a forward who will get rebounds. You want to pick on the Clippers with something big, and nobody's going to go there because Ayton's back. So, he's been playing well. I think I'll still go there with Booker out. Jabari Parker's price is enticing. If for some reason he plays like 36 minutes like he was for a little while, he could smash. And that's it. Down to 6. Do the dirty.
Damn it. Dropping dirty nuggets.
You're muted. There you go.
Yeah. Except small forward. Yeah, Brandon Ingram was a guy that I was going to have a substantial amount of ownership to. I still have a good chunk, but I'm going to have to lower it because we've got so many things opened up. Kelly Oubre has been playing a ton of minutes. Kelly Oubre is cheap on DraftKings at least, and he's played he's projected for like 37, 38 minutes, and if this game stays close, he'll get a ton of minutes today. So I will have a good amount of Kelly Oubre. He's one of my favorite plays at this position. And then the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George situation, we're waiting, right? Those guys both become phenomenal plays. If Lou Will is out, if Bev is out, if they have to be the ones, they'll stagger them a little bit, they'll separate them a little bit. We can go from there. Paulie obviously having some technical difficulties. But, I like those two as well, around 20% as of now. Ready to raise if I have to, which is one of the reasons I may have to lower some Ingram, who I initially had at, a really high exposure. With that said, LeBron James, I'm playing a shit ton of today. He'll be super popular, but again, we want those teams that are shorthanded, and this team is extremely shorthanded. So I'll have a ton of LeBron, no doubt about it. Paulie is back. Take us under 6K. Oh, can't hear you, bro. You on mute. There you go. Now you're on the mute, dog.
Yeah. Something to do with the resets. Miles Bridges should get tons of minutes. No Batum. Williams is injured. PJ Washington is out. Williams playing, but playing with injury. Against Sacramento, I like it. I like it a lot. Taurean Prince, toilet paper, been balling, until LeVert and Kyrie come back. Just going to kind of keep playing him in this price range. Joe Harris, I have a gut feeling on, and I'm going to play him today. 5K, one of those mad three-point bombers, pace up so it gets a couple extra possessions. I think this is a Joe Harris spot. I like the way this kid's been playing, and Brandon Ingram don't really play no D. TJ Warren at 5K. That's him and Jeremy Lamb. I favor Warren, but I'm going to play them both around 20% at these prices. They have 8x upside if they get hot. Garrett Temple's fine. Talked about Josh Hart. DeAndre Hunter is my favorite value play from Atlanta. 4 or 5. He's playing a ton of minutes. It's against the Knicks. He's a nice pivot off what should be very chalky in Mikal Bridges at 4-4. I like him too. Already talked about Kevin Huerter, Danny Green. These guys are all kind of darts.
We got that struggling connection today. You got that bootleg ass shit today. Right with the bootleg connections, man. Anyway, from there, I'll take over until Paulie comes back. Looking at the small forward position, you mentioned DeAndre Hunter. I do like DeAndre Hunter in that range for value. Of course, on DraftKings, you have Hart, you have Bridges, you have these other guys. It's a very competitive position. I think Wilson Chandler's minimum price is worth at least a look. It's a really good game. He got like 19 or so minutes. I'm expecting him to get around 19 to 20 again. And it's just a good environment. He's got a very low floor, so it's a player that I just can't go heavy on. Oh, we are just getting news as well. Kevin Huerter will not have a minutes limit today, and Jared Dudley will start. So that's happening. Jared Dudley is going to start. That's happening. But yeah, I think now you can take a little bit of a closer look. Got guys like Kenrich Williams and all these dudes that I was gonna play, not as interested in anymore, obviously. But yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting. The position's fairly loaded, is what I'm trying to say. LeBron is going to trump the ownership of like Ingram and Leonard and all these guys. So, I'll have a lot of LeBron, but I'm going to leave some room. I mean, you could, finagle around on FanDuel. You get 2 of these guys, and on DraftKings you get utilities, forward, multiple position eligibility. So things to keep an eye on there for sure. But I'll have to see. Changing the core article now. Going over to power forwards, we talked about a lot of these guys. Sabonis is a guy I haven't talked about. I do like Sabonis. The matchup for Sabonis got a lot better. Maybe that when he's playing center, it's not going to be great if he gets some Dwight Howard. But in the meantime, when Turner's on the court, you figure Turner's going to be matched up with one of McGee or Howard. And then from there, you figure Sabonis' matchup is going to be really soft against guys like Jared Dudley, etc. So I do like Domantas Sabonis probably a little bit more than I did before, because I think the matchup just got a little softer for him. And he already projected really well for us. So he's one guy I do like for sure. Julius Randle is a guy that I'm going to have to figure out a way to get more exposure to because now that I've adjusted the projections for these other players, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I'll take a look, analyze his projection. Although he is projected to be somewhat popular, I'm sure that's going to change now that we have all this shit opened up, et cetera, et cetera. Paulie, I did tell the nation Jared Dudley is actually listed as the starter today for Anthony Davis. Exciting.
Yeah.
Talk to us about power forward.
Power forward, yeah. So no more AD on the high end. Leaves us with nothing. Domantas Sabonis, 8K. I do like him against the Lakers. Again, AD being out really is going to drop the quality of their defense. It may speed them up. I'm not exactly sure exactly how it's going to react, but I know their defense will go down. So much, much better rebound spot for Sabonis. I play Julius Randle all the time. He happens to be playing really well, and is just crazily underpriced for what he can do. And you kind of got to ride the hot hand there. Montrezl Harrell, if like Lou Williams remains out, and Pat Bev, I think he's worth playing. If Lou's in and Pat's out, I think it's still worth a shot, but I'm not too crazy into it. But you kind of got to get some. You never know when Harrell's going to go off for 50. And that's it, down to 6. Sabone, Randall, Harrell.
Yeah, I like it. Under 6, I think Jabari Parker's kind of interesting. Rayshawn Holmes has an interesting price. His usage has been terrible. The minutes are always in flux. This Bagley is creeping up, getting more and more minutes each game, waiting to take his spot back. But in the meantime, it's a really good matchup against Charlotte. He played well against them earlier, and the price is down. Paulie already talked about some of these guys like Dario Saric, who I think is interesting if you want exposure to that game. DeAndre Hunter. With that said, Paulie, move us over. Talk to me about the guys under 6K.
Yeah, I like Marvin Bagley a lot. He's in the media complaining about he should get his starting spot back, and I think any minute that he's on the court, like look at the usage rates: 36.7 usage in 22 minutes. That's Harden-like usage. I think he's just gonna, continue to just try to boost his statistics and command that starting role. And I think his minutes are going to increase as long as the game is close. Marvin Bags is going to pop a 40-plus burger next 3 games. And, you want to be on it first. So I'm playing Marvin Bags. I'm going to be over the field on him significantly. Cody Zeller, they moved him over to small forward. It's a decent spot. They're a little light, so he could see additional minutes. Really hard to choose between him and Bismack, but the power forward eligibility is certainly nice. Bobby Portis at 3,500, I think is kind of worth getting a little exposure to every day now. And then Wilson Chandler at the site minimum played 19 minutes in his second game back for Brooklyn. First game back for Brooklyn against Philly. Went for 17. Only took 1 shot attempt. Did most of that with rebounds, steals, and blocks. And I think the shot attempts significantly increased. This is a much faster paced game, as well as the minutes, the usage, all that good stuff. Think Wilson Chandler min price is a really sneaky low-owned play.
Hello and dirty.
Hello and dirty.
I'm with it. Take us over to centers. Run all the way through.
All the way through, Z. Centers is kind of weak today. On the high end, Rudy Gobert. We already talked about Sabonis. I'm going to have little bits of ownership to Ayton and Vooch. Ayton kind of sticks out more because he was just suspended, so he wasn't injured. No reason why he shouldn't get good minutes. He should have been practicing all along. And I don't think the field will be on him very much. Jared Allen, I really like at 6'4". Brooklyn seems to be on-offing him. One game they play him a ton of minutes as long as he doesn't get in foul trouble. Then the next they play him less and let DeAndre Jordan get the minutes. According to that pattern, this would be his on game, and the price is low. Pace up. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. Mitch Robinson, Atlanta is one of the most blocked and turnover-prone teams, and we know Mitch Robinson can go block 5+ shots in a game as well as do his scoring and rebounding, drop a double-double. With no AD, Miles Turner is now kind of interesting to me. Both bigs on Indy. And then down in value land, Bismack being 600 cheaper than Cody Zeller, and no PJ Washington leaves some appeal. Alex Len's been playing well. They never really push his minutes, but against the Knicks, I don't know. If he's facing Mitch Robinson, it's tough. If he's facing Julius Randle, it's pretty easy. I was into Aaron Baines. The guy was playing great yesterday, but now with Ayton back, I'm going to have to pull off on that. And then we got Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee now. I think I favor McGee, but I'll probably just get very similar exposure, 25% to both, as they're just in very, very good spots with minutes and usage increases. Mega value, I don't think there's anything that I was really into. Yeah, those are the 2 lowest guys I'll probably be playing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, DeAndre Ayton stands out to me. He wasn't hurt. I think he'll get at least 30 minutes, especially with Booker off the court, assuming the Suns want to be competitive here. Correlates well with Rubio. That's the biggest weakness really one of the only weaknesses for the Clippers defense is, depending on who's playing. But centers, they got no answer for it. So I like Ayton. He wasn't hurt. He was suspended, so he's been healthy. Probably practicing, keeping in shape. So I expect him to go out there and get some decent run. I do like him on both sides. There are a lot of centers that are going to overlook now with this stuff. We talked about Mitch Robinson against Atlanta. I do like it's hard. I don't like him as much as I did because now we have the McGee Howard. There's Vooch, Jared Allen. Jackson Hayes is a little tricky. Okafor seems to be the odd man out of the rotation. Favors seems to be limited to around 20, 22 minutes, and Jackson is getting the rest. Great spot for him. But again, I just don't see why I would take the chances on these guys anymore when I have the McGee Howard. Because let's talk about that for a second, Paulie. Like one of these guys, I mean, both of these guys are definitely in play, obviously. But how do you not want to play like all these guys with LeBron, Rondo, like all the Lakers?
Yeah, I do. I don't think I'd play Dwight and JaVale together much, but I do like them both.
Bro, I 100% think you can. They're cheap enough.
Yeah,
they're just cheap enough.
Yeah.
And they're both probably bigger than Miles Turner. Howard. Foul trouble. Now I agree with you in that there's definitely a path that like one of them gets in foul trouble and it leads to the other one going for 60 or 50. Right? Like McGee's done it before. We could see Howard get it, or vice versa. Howard could do it too. So this is a spot that I believe Cody Zeller. In 29 minutes, they got blown out. Cody Zeller went for 12 rebounds, 19 points. Biombo went for 17 rebounds and 11 points against his Pacers team. They played together. They did start together. They both started. One played before. But, it's a situation where, like, as far as centers go, my pool just got a little bit tighter. And, I wish one of these guys were forward eligible because I still like Ayton. But it got tight. Quite like a tiger. These guys, hey, sevens and 30s and 30s and sevens all day.
How does he do it?
I don't know. That's gonna do it for the breakdown here. We got about a little over 36 minutes to lock. 6:24 p.m. Eastern. With that said, I'm gonna switch it over to the Slack feed, check on some of the injury stuff. And Nation, with that said, we'll answer some questions. Starting off with the WiseStream chat first. If you have any, pop them in there. YouTube chat, we'll address yours next. We're just gonna switch over here. Do dirties and sevens and dirties. Dirties and sevens. Oh, I gotta get the feed working right quick. You know how that go. Bam, there it is, Nation. Again, this is the Slack chat feed for our NBA injuries channel. This is available. The Slack chat is available to WiseTake Nation subscribers with monthly memberships or higher, season passes, 3-month passes, all that shit included. I did update my core article. It's updated. Those are the guys that, as of right now, have the highest exposure to.
You drop a dirty on it?
Oh, I'm always dropping dirties on it. Come on. Dirties? Like, all day. All day. You know how we do it. Yeah, buddy. All right, let me see these. I don't see any WiseStream. WiseStream gets priority. You know that. It's WiseTake Nation. Let me see. Spark City Records, is Drew playing tonight? I believe so. I haven't heard otherwise, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't Drew play?
I don't know. Maybe he had a Q tag. No, nothing. I think he's fine.
Yeah. What you talking about, man?
What it is. What it will be. Let me see. What do you guys think of Jeff Green for value?
Jeff Green, Utah. Why?
Yeah, it's just kind of deep, man. We got a lot of stuff that opened up. Just kind of deep. Unless there's some news that we don't know about that you know about, brah. You know something we don't know? Share it.
Yeah, share with the nation, dog. Jeff Grizzle. U-Tizzle. Yeah, I don't see nothing on U-Tizzle. Everybody's playing. Mike Conley we're waiting on. But
yeah, Mike Conley.
Even if he's out, that shouldn't really boost Green too much.
This guy says, Paulie D crushing a Sando.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a pulled chicken barbecue with fresh mutzi melted on it. Had to. Man. My girl put it out there. I was just like, fuck it. I'm eating this shit right now.
Straight up dirties.
Yeah.
Let me see. Jeffrey says, I don't think we in the top chat. I see 16 people, only 4 people. Yeah. The most of the people are watching at the WiseStream page. On our page, we have another page describing that. That's where the other chat is for our subscribed members who get priority, and we're in the Slack chat doing dirties and all that good stuff. Saboner, good tonight without AD. I like the AD already. I like him a lot more now. I like him even more now. I'm cool with it. You?
I love it. Yeah.
Because now at this point, if we're going so heavy on the Lakers, now we need this game to be as competitive as possible. So the bringbacks are just that much more attractive, I think.
I mean, the Lakers without AD is really a pretty bad team.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, they were terrible last year, and they're missing Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, and AD was the main. He turned that team around, and they're just not very good. I mean, maybe Rondo can save them, but probably not, especially with no Kuz.
How does he do it?
They're thin. This game will be faster than expected. Lakers are playing 10th fastest in the league the last month and a half.
And they're just going to speed up without, Gillicuddy.
Yeah, without AD. So, me likes this game, actually.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Buddy's birthday tonight.
Yeah, it is Buddy Hield's birthday.
Buddy Hield's birthday against Charlotte. Birthday narrative. Holla. I actually don't have it. I don't think I have very much Hield at all.
I mean, I'd have like 7% of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind grabbing some. It's just at this point things got a little more concentrated because of those games. But his ownership's going to be crazy low, and it's his birthday. Holla. How about Terry Rozier, Paulie?
Yeah, he's all right. Graham's really just been the dude over there, but I'm all right with him. I'll give him a shot. I'll play him a little bit.
Yeah, he'll be very low owned. Price is fair.
Sure.
Price is fine for the upside he has. My issue with him, I was going to go a little heavier on Rozier today until I saw Fox is coming off the bench. Not that it probably doesn't make as big a difference as like I'm weighing on it. But really, it was just too deep. Point guard, there's so many guys I want to play now, and Rondo just added to that list, so I just didn't really have a ton of room because the guys I like are Lonzo Ball and Elf, and these guys, they're cheaper than him. You know what I mean? But with Corey Joseph, assuming he's starting, Corey Joseph is a good defender. That's like the one thing he does well in basketball is he's aggressive on defense. Fox, not so much. So I would have liked it more if Fox was getting full run. But with that said, I'm still cool with Rozier for tournaments, absolutely. Explaining why I didn't talk more about him because the spot on paper, it's low owned in a game where defense is not played a ton, so it makes sense. Oh. Shout out to EP Deuces, brother from another mother, much love. Drop sevens and do dirties. Yes, that's how we do it. Check on my peoples. Oh, my bad. We got some questions over here. Okay. Which 3 or 4 guys on the core for FanDuel? That's from one of our members, T. Cameron. I did update my article, Cameron, for my core. You can go check it out. I got the FanDuel and DraftKings over there. Any bone you want to throw there? Did you even look at FanDuel yet, Paulie? Have you looked at all? No, right?
Negative, but
yeah.
Take a quick look, see what's popping.
Poppington.
What was the question though? Was a core play?
Like 3 or 4 core guys for FanDuel.
Sure thing. Ding-a-lang. Let's see. Panda's always funkadactyl with their pricing. Give me 1 second, all right?
Dirties and sevens. I'll move on to the next question in the meantime. Brogdon sneaky. I don't think Brogdon is sneaky. Now I'm going to play a lot of Brogdon. I wouldn't call him sneaky though. I think he's going to be fairly owned, especially now that the Lakers ownership has just jumped. More people are now the people that know the correlation deal. Like it's not a secret anymore. People like to do that now, and they'll be upping their exposure most likely to Sabonis probably more so, but also probably to Brogdon, as this should lead to more Rondo minutes, which doesn't mean Rondo's going to guard him realistically. But if they have Lamb, Warren, these guys on the court, then KCP and these dudes may be occupied. They may, if Rondo happens to be on there at that moment, they may have no choice. So I like.
Yo, I'll be right back. I gotta move the car.
Move the car. Ooh, the police. Now that's the time you take the camera with you, bro. Never mind. Anyway, so I like Brogdon. I wouldn't call him sneaky though. Neal or Marvin Williams? So Marv has been hurt. He's back. We'll want to see what the starting lineup is because Zeller started last time. Zeller and Biyombo. We know PJ Washington's out and going to be out for a little bit. I tend to lean towards Marv. Him. But I don't love either. I don't love it. I'm gonna be playing a good amount of the centers over at the Lakers for value. It's gonna be annoying because I do like a lot of those other centers, but it's gonna allow me like Sabonis' ownership for me is gonna go up now because I'm able to plug him in at the forward position. You know what I mean? Ladarius, any lock plays? Well, I mean LeBron, I'm gonna play a ton of now, right? Like, what's not to like? Looks like a pretty good situation for LeBron right now. If some other news comes up, some things, doing something strange for a piece of change. Hey, 7 whisperers.
Sorry, the fucking police showed up and told me to move my car.
I was like, that's when you take the camera with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go out there, you tell the police, yo, say what's up to the WiseTake Nation, man. Hey everybody, this is the dick that made me move my car. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to the police. I got no beef with the police.
Yeah, police alright. Man. Some of them.
Yeah, my aunt was like retired NYPD. Some of them. I've had my experiences, don't get me wrong. I used to run around back in the day, back in the day.
Yesterday,
yeah, right. I still get nervous as shit when I get pulled over. Like I haven't done anything wrong. Like, well, obviously I partake in my extracurricular activities, but that's barely illegal anymore. But aside from that, I'm doing nothing wrong. Like, I've done some shit in my life, and I had reason to be afraid of when police came around. But like for the past, I don't know how long now, I haven't done anything, and I can't help it. Like I got no problem with cops, but when I see one, I get
just nervous. Why are they here? Why are they looking at me?
It goes down to my stomach, and I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to go back.
So on FanDuel, getting back to that question real quick, I like Markelle Fultz either site. I think he's just playing LeBron James now on all sites.
How much LeBron you gonna play?
Power forward. How much? 60.
That's right. I'm questioning if I should go higher.
And then whichever center you prefer from the Lakers. Let's see what their prices are. Howard's 4.4, McGee's 3.8. That's real tempting on McGee, but either one.
Yeah. Makes sense. Fouth had asked me a question earlier about O'Neal or Marvin Williams, and that's for FanDuel, and he's looking for like a super cheap punt at power forward. That's why I was asking. I would slightly lean towards Williams, I guess, just because PJ, what's his name, is hurt. But again, we don't know what the starting lineup is. Marv probably doesn't get more than 20-something minutes anyway. If I had to pick one, I'd pick him. Any thoughts? He needs a cheap power forward on FanDuel, and he was looking at O'Neal and Marvin Williams.
Who's O'Neal? Royce?
I believe so. Yeah, Royce.
Yeah, okay, 3,900. I really don't like either of those. If we had the drop score, I could live with it, but that's thin, man. Like, I would say rework because I don't like either of those, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick one, I do think Marv makes the most sense. If you had to pick one,
yeah,
it's tough. I mean, I think O'Neal's going to get more minutes. It's just like, he's just another one of those guys that doesn't do a ton. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably try to rework as well.
I think I'd play O'Neal if I had to choose one, though.
30s and
7. Yeah, 7 and 30. But yeah, I'd go back to the drawing board as like my main answer to that question.
Here's a question for you from me. How much of these centers you looking to grab from the Lakers?
25 apiece.
That's it? 25 apiece?
Yeah.
You don't want to be higher on them?
Maybe 40 apiece. I don't know, 30 apiece.
I'm looking at. I'm looking at grabbing a substantial amount. Now on FanDuel, it's a little different because if you have to split that, right? Like, say you wanted 40% exposure to this situation, it's a little different. On DraftKings, you got to figure like some of the teams are going to be played together, so it's not necessarily adding a team, and obviously some will be played separately. So if one busts, you're fine. But I just find it hard not to go heavy. I find it hard to believe that at least one won't do well, if not both. And the annoying part is like if you don't want to be at like say 40% each, picking one. That's kind of annoying, right? Because that's like one of these. Don't get me wrong, foul trouble. I'm not saying it's like a lock button situation. Foul trouble is on the table for sure. Sabonis and Turner are the bigs they're going against. It's on the table. You know me, dirties and seven. Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, how much RJ Barrett are you playing?
I've got like 50%.
50, yeah.
How much Rondo you gonna put that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's a deep position. Like, those 5 guys I like a lot.
It's deep. It's very deep. And now this probably Rondo is gonna lower some of the ownership on Ball. I'm sure Ball will still be popular, but it's got to lower some of it because it's the same position.
Has Ball been ruled in as a starter? Or?
I mean, I think it's just I don't know. No, he hasn't. I haven't seen nothing on him, but like I said, like a lot of sites like RotoWire are projecting him in the starting lineup. I'll popcorn machine this bitch and see what happened last time they played. Because if they have him in there, he must have started, right? Like,
I don't think he started.
No, he didn't start. Right? He played against Orlando. He didn't start. Did they have a game?
Yeah, he hadn't started in 5 games.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I don't understand. Really don't. But these chicks don't even know the name of my band. You know. This shit is crazy. How much Rubio you gonna play, bro?
20 or less.
Yeah, I'm looking at around 20 right now. Some. You know, I want some, but I don't want I don't want to be too crazy overexposed. You know what I mean? It's never good to overexpose people. You know? How much RJ Barrett you got, mother sucker? Flip the script on your ass. How about that?
Probably 25 to 30.
Damn, you're not high on Barrett. Is it just the ownership, or you just think he's in a funk right now? I mean, he just went for fucking 40.
I just have a thing for Elf.
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. I like Elf as well, but I mean they could.
And Mark Elfoltz.
Yeah, okay, I get that now. The second guy is really what did it. You know, I was just like reaching when you had a second guy in mind. I was like, I see.
And Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondonovich. Yeah, I know. I am with you. I am lowering Barrett after I said 50. I am lowering him to 40 only because I noticed that it did make my point guard pool a little bit smaller than I wanted it to be. And I'm not reducing guys. Yeah. Like I'm pretty firm on the other.
Because LeBron is point guard too. I mean, you can use him as a SF, but he's going to take up some of that point guard ownership.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh damn.
20 minutes to lock BT dub.
Whatever you do, don't refresh your screen, son. You never know.
Not again.
It's not happening, but you never know. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let me check the live stream chat real quick. Boom. How much Dudley exposure from Ladarius?
Dudler, for me, none.
Yeah, I don't think I do it. I hate that guy so much. I can't do it. I can't.
Welcome.
I can't do it, Cotton. I don't have the pride. Let me see what else we got. What up? Rocksteady, what's happening? Top cash plays. Rocksteady says top cash plays. The Lakers. LeBron for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Rocksteady plays DraftKings, so he's talking DraftKings cash.
Dinwiddie.
RJ Barrett. On DraftKings, of course.
65. 80. 100.
100. Remember, short-handed teams are the cheat code in NBA DFS. Remember that.
Remember that.
Big Brody says, will I be good if I fade the Clipper Sun game? I think that kind of depends on some of the news we get. I mean, you never really know taking a stance. I wouldn't fade it completely. If you're only building a few teams, then sure. But if you're building the MMEs like we tell our members to do, then there's no reason to completely fade it. It's got a good total, good teams, and we don't even have the news. What if Lou Will and Pat Bev's out? Then this thing gets a little more interesting. And so does Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's what worries me about LeBron, bro. It's going to take me away from some of those. Like, I'm not going to have as much room to get more of that if we get that news later.
Yeah.
Like I got Kawhi and PG both at 20. When realistically, if we got news that Pat Bev and Lou Will were out again, I would probably want closer to 40 on each. And I may not have the room for that. You know. FanDuel, are you paying up for both small forwards?
I would. I don't like the value there.
Well, you could do the super mega punt with Wilson Chandler, though. Good.
Oh, he's on FanDuel down there? I do like that. I mean, I don't love that.
Chandler's 3,500 over there. I mean, I don't love it either. I prefer to pay up also, but you do have him. You know, TJ Warren is 4,800 on FanDuel. That's pretty low.
Yeah.
Slow for FanDuel.
Small forward, though.
Yeah, he is small forward, TJ Warren.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about small forwards, no?
I thought you said power.
Did I?
You said pay up with double power.
No, small forwards. Pay up for both small forwards. Yeah. That was it.
Maybe you said power.
Hornets lineup is out. Graham, Rozier, Bridges, Zeller, and Biyombo. So Zeller and Biyombo starting together once again. Little Twin Towers action. For that is.
Kicking the dough within the fofo.
Yo, how much Kawhi and PG are you keeping open?
I'm capping it at 20 on each of them.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I want to go a little bit more than that, just like, you know, some gut feeling type shit. But on some responsibility type shit, I feel like maybe I have enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the dough within the fofo. You. How much Mitch Robinson you gonna play?
Mitch Rob, like 15, 12. Just don't have much room with other centers.
I know, that's where I'm at. I ended up having to lower on some of the guys that I wanted pieces of. Like, I had to make it a little bit lower, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do it.
It's a cold world.
Cold world. Real quick, those of you still hanging out with us, looks like there are a bunch of you still rocking with us. If y'all could smash the like button on YouTube, goes a long way. Appreciate those of you who already hit it. Those of you that didn't, come on. Don't be a dick. Just do it.
And quit it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
15 minutes to lock. Those of you out there, make sure you are, you know, dropping dirties.
Doing it.
It's just it. What else can I say?
Before they get dropped on you.
They will most certainly get dropped on you.
They will get dropped on you. Yeah.
There's no question.
You don't do nothing about it.
No question.
No question. So, where's my Joe Harris? I want that Joe Harris.
Is LeBron going to be the highest exposed player you have?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate him, but yes.
I know you do. That's when you know it's like, okay, I really got to play this guy when Paulie's doing it, because Paulie hates this guy so much. Yep. Dirty sevens. So you got two ways to approach this LeBron situation, right? You can go like 40 to 50%. He's on the lower end of your core. Well, that's like more of a straight up core, but you go 40, 50%, leave yourself that room to pivot later because there are other games. Or you just say, nah, yeah, I'm just going to roll with it and, you know, just go super heavy on LeBron. Right now, that's where I am. It's just hard to get around that. But there is a world where this game kind of blows out and it sucks. But even if like LeBron would bust, but his teammates probably wouldn't. They're just too thin at this point. You know, like even in that scenario. Yep. Not that I'm predicting that. I'm just saying like sevens and 30s and 30s and sevens. You know that. You know how it works. You know. How much holiday you playing, bro?
Which holiday? Drew?
Yeah.
Be
newbies.
25 to 30?
Yeah, I'm at 30 right now. 30 right now. Yeah, everybody else sucking on you-knows, yeah. What? You-knows, yeah. Man, Dinwiddie is jumping off the charts in ownership now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's just like skyrocketing.
Really, I mean, it's a good game, and he's been playing well, and Jared Allen's a stud, but I don't know. I'm surprised he's popping off ownership wise.
Right.
You know?
Oh, I know, bro. Oh, I know. It's
13 minutes to Lockington. Kicking the dough, waving. Boom.
Wait, how much time? 13 minutes, you said. That's right. Okay, we good.
13, yeah.
We good. We're rolling here.
5:52, your time's up.
You're rolling here, guys. We are just rolling right along. Rolling right along, everybody. Loving it. Loving the environment. Loving the atmosphere. Quick shout out.
How much Brogdanovic?
You wish he was what?
How much Brogdanovic you playing?
Man, I got like a 40 burger on him, man. It's like
burgers and fries.
I may reduce that a little bit. Just because my pool's getting tight and I don't know where else to take it from. I'm already taking it from all these other guys. You know? Exactly. You understand? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Toy. Like a tiger. Like a tiger. Yeah, how much trade dollar? I actually don't have a lot of trade dollar. That's one of the reasons that I was considering lowering Brogdon a tad to get me a little bit more of him. I actually don't have a ton of him. And so I'm just like, trade dollar, low ownership, Madison Square Garden, no good. Oh no. Come on.
Waving, kicking the dough, waving the ball.
I'm gonna be. How much Rondo you playing, bro?
24%.
24 on him, dropping it dirty style. How much Brogdon you playing?
32.
32. Do.
I'll do my top 5 in a minute. I'm still in the crunch phase.
Still in that crunching thing. Let's see what we come up with when we do this. 11 minutes to lock, nation. 11 minutes to lock. Country Road. Quick shout out to Stevie Brown for dropping a sale on Saturday. It was not a free show, so only the WiseTake Nation got to see it. But that was just too good to put on YouTube. You had to pay for it. But he did drop it. It's always good when Stevie drops one. You get that 7. So it's great. It's beautiful. How much ball you gonna play?
Like 15.
Not too much.
I don't quite understand the ball thing.
Yeah, I know. It's like you don't understand it. You're also semi-afraid to get beat by it if we're wrong. But like I'm with you. I don't totally understand it either.
Like if he does start or he gets 32 minutes, like he's in position to smash.
Yeah, and then we're just like, oh man, I dirtied myself. What happened? A little, it's monetarial. Like a monetarial thing.
It's a monetarial thing.
Yeah. Monetarial. Yeah. Let me check on the chat real quick. Bam. Thoughts on Bielitsa on FanDuel?
I like Bagley.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Bielitsa because of the situation with Bags. Dinwiddie or Brogdon?
Brogdon.
Yeah, I go Brogdon. That is actually a really good question, though. Like, shout out to you. That was a good question. But yeah, I go Brogdon as well. I mean, it's close to the exposures. Brogdon's close to a core. He's right outside the core cusp. I have like 30 Dinwiddie and like 35 Brogdon. Dinwiddie, I'm good with. It makes sense. I'm just worried about like the ownership. Man, like I'm playing more Dinwiddie than I actually want to because he's gonna be popular. So if he goes off and I'm wrong about that, I don't want to get beat that bad and it's like night. Realistically, I'd like to be at 20%. I'm at 30%, assuming that he's gonna be like 35 to 40, and I'm still underweight a bit. Boom. $1 for $1. Need that money for tomorrow. I think we had another question. That's why I got Pope in my line. Did you guys read in the chat or no? That's why you got Pope in your line. Yeah, check the chat a little late. Daniel D. We do this show. Reading now. Do we like KCP? Do you like KCP?
Not too much.
Yeah, it's like I'm fine with him. I got no really like I wouldn't talk you off a ledge with him. But for a little bit more or a little bit less, you got other guys. He's 4-1, so like you got the centers first of all who are cheaper than him. Then you got for a little bit more, you can get $300 more. You get up to Bridges over there. Mikal Bridges, that is. Look, but I'm cool with Pope. He's gonna get a lot of minutes, so I wouldn't like lay a hate. The last time I started bugging out a little bit, people were like, "Does he know he's live?" Yeah, fucking I'm live. I give a fuck. How many fucks does this guy give? None, bro. None, bro. I mean, we take it. This is our time right here. This is time we usually me and you on the phone or on Skype or something, and we're just like crunching down. Yeah. Whoever did the show with us that day is on with us, and this we decided to let everybody into our time. So as we're building these teams, you guys are literally getting getting the goods, getting the dirt McGirt,
Getting the goodies.
My projections are giving me more Danny Green than Pope for whoever asked a question on Pope. So I'm cool with them both. But
yeah, I like Green better too.
Green is projecting better.
Yeah, give me that Green.
That's a bit Green though. Greenland. Oh, I mean, I saw Jay Holiday 3%. I was like 3%. I was like, oh, it's the other Holiday. I was like, oh, why do I even have 3? Why even 3% of that guy? Come on. Like, fuck that guy, bro. I'd rather play KCP over that guy.
Please.
I just put the kiss of death on him. You know what that means? He's gonna ball tonight.
What do you think about Aaron Holiday?
Aaron?
Yeah, he's been playing good minutes. The slate's just deep with value. I don't think you need to do it no more. But
agreed. He's sharing. He's really cutting into Lamb's minutes, man. Like Lamb is on the cusp of losing his job, and then Oladipo's coming back anyway. So at that point, it won't even matter. But Holiday's been outplaying Lamb for sure. 5 minutes to lock. We haven't gotten any news other side from these starting lineups we went over, Nation. I think I'm content for now with what I have. On DraftKings, you have the liberty of late swap. So after these first games start, let's see what games actually start first. The Laker game, perfect. So Lakers, Kings, Charlotte. Those are the first 2 games. Knicks is third at 7:30. So the most important game on the slate right out the gate. We're gonna have to make sure we have a substantial amount of exposure to. This should be interesting. It looks like once again I'm heaviest on the first game of the slate. Worked out yesterday. Will it work out today? I don't know. How do I do it? I don't know. Yeah, buddy. It's a party.
I cannot get jiggy with this shit.
Shout out to Paul. Holderman, who says, thank you guys. You are the best. I am going to join the nation soon. That's right. We'll be here waiting for you to join the nation.
Join that shit. Join that shit. Join that shit.
Join it, though. Join it high. Join it low. Oh, that's how we do that right there.
All right.
LeBron leading
CSV.
LeBron leading the ownership tonight. Yes, I expect LeBron to be the highest player owned on both sites.
Errors. Entry ID is invalid. What the
You might have
fuck are
clicked on the
you?
wrong slate when you did the export.
Yeah, I might have done did something.
You got 3 minutes. It done did fix it. Better fix that shit quick, son. Labrisius Maximus starts in 3 minutes. Labrisius Maximus starts in 3 minutes, man. Starts in 3 minutes, man.
That is. That's okay. We alright. We alright.
You good? You got it in there?
Yeah.
Swimwear style, though?
Yeah, let me upload it back so I can check out my exposures.
Do you have any Jackson Hayes?
No.
I know it's like, why, right? Like, why would I do it? We got 2 minutes, nation. Make sure you get them shits ready.
Alright.
Dirty
My
birdies.
exposures be LeBron at 63, JaVale at 32, Trae Young at 30, Julius Randle at 30, RJ Barrett 29, Marvin Bagley 29, Rajon Rondo 28, Jared Allen 28, Dwight Howard 27, Drew Holiday 25.
But I didn't hear no Julius Randle in it, did I?
Yeah, he was the fourth name. LeBron, JaVale, Trae, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Marvin Bagley, Rajon Rondo, Jared Allen, Dwight Howard, Drew Holiday. Anybody I'm missing?
I don't think so. I think you nailed it. Pretty sure. 1 minute to lock. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Under the sea. Under the sea. Sucking on dizzles. You know the drizzle. Take it from me. In the sun they work all day. Out in the sun they slip away. Chill. So we do that. Do that real quick. We got 1 minute, so I'm just gonna wait. All right, lock time, man. It's lock time. It is lock time right now. Right now, boy. You know what I'm saying, man? We got that lockdown, man. We got lockdown, man. It's locked, man.
Let's see what's ownership looking like out there.
Yeah, see what's gooch. See what's gooch while I do a quick little last minute fine tuning of this here fine product. Planeting. What's planeting? Earth. That's what's planeting.
Earth is my planet.
Yes, it is. Got the Kings lineup. Joseph, Heal, Barnes, Bielitsa, Holmes at 6:59. For those of you that were waiting on the edge of your seats for that. Some people were probably on the edge of their seats just waiting for that.
That was the one we was. That's as expected.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, don't fucks with me, baby.
What did?
LBJ 58%.
Boom.
Devontae Graham 4%.
Boom.
Where them centers at? Where them centers at?
Centaur.
TJ Warren 0.86%. Rajon Rondo 9%.
Wow.
JaVale McGee 66. Dwight Howard 28.
Oh shit.
So I guess I feel like JaVale a bit more.
Wait, what did you say JaVale was at?
Like 66.
Wow. Damn.
And Dwight Howard was at 24.
Damn, I'm still underweight on that shit. Ain't that about a bit? Well, Howard I'm overweight on.
Well, that was the $2. You pop down to the $1, which is a 20 entry max, and JaVale's 32%. That's pretty interesting.
Oh, interesting.
So what that says is the max enter guys played him heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for today. Let's wind this thing down. Shut this shit down. We'll be back at it tomorrow, Nation. So make sure you come grab at it. Peek the core shit on YouTube will be our core play shit. First look will be out later. You know, Paulie, anything to closing for the nation before we get up out of here?
Drop 30s, do 7s.
Let's go. Drop a 30 on him for Paulie D, for myself, the entire WiseTake Nation. As always, good luck.